big content creators who have this perception that other people are following them and fans, when it's an operative fact that these niggas have been a fan of mine for a long time, stealing my jokes, stealing my talking points, going out and act like they lit, trying to and having to manipulate people in real life in order to try to stay in some type of position that you claim and call yourself to be. And nigga, fuck you. I would never in my life compete with somebody who haven't accomplished half of what I've accomplished. Anybody can get up here. You was once one of those crazy people that cried about some woman not accepting you and rejecting you because you got your own motherfucking mama issues. You was a creator that needed validation and looking for a way to be famous, and you still are. So while you was on internet trying to be famous and still trying to be famous 20 years later, I was building a legit Hollywood resume. Something that you can't do at all. No talent, no nothing. Nothing about you is spectacular. You're a fucking narcissist, an internet vulture. You need to find somebody else to play with and find somebody else to talk about, nigga, because you're not going to talk about me and think I'm not going to back at you. Fuck out of here. And using it for content. Like, get out of here, nigga. Just, okay, go. I wish you 1 billion views. You're going to need all 1 billion views to pay them legal fees on appeal because it's really that much more expensive. Oh, Lord. What's up, Andrew Taylor? What's up, Big Mama? Aunt Deb, everybody. So are we clear? Like, as long as your case is moving forward and you're not in jail, you good, okay? I'm good. I know how to do it on the criminal side. I know the rules, regulations. I see what they're going to try to do. I know how to maneuver on both ends. The biggest difference between a civil trial, like a restraining order versus a criminal case, is that only a fucking dumbass judge has the discretion to make up whatever rules and regulation that she want to do in her motherfucking head and wonder why ain't nobody finna respect you. Wonder why the judicial council is communicating with me about your motherfucking ass while you thinking you sitting pretty, and wonder why the American Bar Association is also communicating with me with bitches that look like they sell pussy on Fig with a law degree. Oh, Lord. Come on. When you with one of God's children, you can get up here, you can lollygag, you can gallop your motherfucking mouth, but I've been told you. The real battle is in the paperwork. And so while I was filing all of this paperwork and you blasted the record and shit, you're going to see how it works on appeal. One of the worst things that black Americans can go through in America is a black person trying to exercise power and authority over them in a court system, especially in criminal court. That's why the DL Whisper's in the situation he is, a restraining order, converted into civil. So now he can't even present his case. Now he's desperate, sitting in jail because of some niggas on the motherfucking internet want to play a game and do it for the clout, do it for the narcissism, and do it because you're a motherfucking vulture. You bitch ass niggas ain't no motherfucking victims. We on the internet know what's up. Y'all can go in front of the fucking courthouse. But a nigga like me know how to put what's out there in the public domain in front of the court to let them see just how motherfucking egregious you are. And that was in the paper. Oh, Lord. So when you sit there and see me laughing at and not taking a bullshit ass trial court judge serious, bitch, let's make motherfucking history. And at the end of the day, people are going to realize that Denat was in the court because he has a passion for law. Denat's opinion about that law and that paperwork is going to be more and more validated while you're a bitch ass nigga in court looking to get fucked. Oh, Lord. Up out of here. Everything that I'm saying is for entertainment purposes only. That is it. That is it. And to correct the record, okay? We're talking about my case. So many people have been speculating and talking about me and the petitioner. I have nothing to say about the petitioner. The only thing I have to say is the case is moved forward to appeal, which is exactly what I knew would happen. I've filed my designation of record. I know all the documents that I included like the back of my hand. I already know my legal strategy, my legal defenses, my theories. I know all of that stuff. And it's going to be taken serious. Paperwork is taken serious on appeals, unlike a fucking janky ass kangaroo trial court with a nigga bitch up there that was a flight attendant just a year before. I can't help that. But that paperwork, it really matters in appeals court. And if you just blasting and clogging the record and stuff, I guess what your only hope is to try to get me arrested so that I can delay my appeal and I can't fight it. I'm not the DL Whisperer. America is a dangerous place to be. Oh, Lord. Anyways, moving on. So this video, majority, I just had to talk about my case. my case, given the fact that other people want to use my case in order to add value to their lack of knowledge or lack of awareness for how the court system works, or their lack of actually delivering something that's legit instead of sensationalizing everything. Okay, niggas is filing restraining orders, filing criminal charges just to get an extra talking point online. And that's all this is about, because ain't no fucking victims online. You niggas do the same fucking thing. All right, DL people, DL men, speaking of the DL whisper, I believe women really took heed to the DL whisper because number one, black women like flamboyant gay men like the DL Whisperer and petitioners and shit, and TS Madison transgenders, because I guess they feel like it makes women feel more safer if they're dealing with someone that's feminine and less masculine and so forth. And then they're getting information from these feminine guys, even EJ Johnson, about straight heterosexual men or men that they suspect are on the DL. And this can be dangerous for a lot of women. So women champion that, because at the end of the day, most women always questioning the sexuality of their partner. Let a woman get mad. Oh, you gay. I wasn't gay when I was up in that last night. But, you know, those are subconscious thoughts that's always going on. So the DL Whisper had an audience full of women who was questioning their sanity, questioning their partner, in the nature of the relationship, because DL community is very, very large in places that have significantly higher HIV/AIDS rates, like Atlanta, Georgia, and Houston, and so forth. So that's why he built an audience, and people like Tasha K co-signed him, because women really have questions about the sexuality of men. I say to every woman here and every man that's listening, be completely open and honest about your sexuality. That double standard shit need to stop. In society, we can see women slapping each other, kissing each other, doing all this freaky deaky stuff, but they're not gay, they're straight. But men, it's a completely different ball game. And I think through systemic racism, institutional racism, as well as inner conflict between black people, there's a big conflict between the heterosexual and the gay community, as in the black community alone. And so black people that are gay feel unsafe and unprotected. It's not like back in the 80s where they did TV shows like The Pose that showed community and people happy and vibrating. But people have reputations, names, likeness, street cred to represent. And women are attracted to DL men because they oftentimes are some of the most dangerous people in the community.
I ain't punk that paper pussy. Homeboy, who's your homeboy?
Who's in?
And y'all fuck the same home, y'all fuck the same faggot in the ass.
Good.
With that stuff that we bought from the sex store, didn't you?
Good.
Good. You and your homeboy boo.
Me and my homeboy fucking boo, yup.
You and your homeboy boo.
And Chris, yes.
And Chris?
Fucking ass,
Your brother Chris?
Yeah, yup.
Y'all all fucked a punk.
Yeah, good. Hey, we show it out.
Y'all all punk. That's what you saying.
We show it out, yup.
Your friend Boo from Eastdale.
Yeah, we show it out. I'm gonna go like
Miss T-Baby.
Yeah.
Miss T-Baby son.
Yeah, we fought, yeah. So, how you know you fought,
And y'all fuck a faggot in the ass though.
I fought Boo too in the ass too. And Chris in the ass.
So you and Boo fucking?
Yeah.
That's why you gay.
We been fucking.
That's why we saying you a punk.
We been fucking.
You lame as hell, but you
back.
Nah, I ain't getting this shit, nigga. Fuck is you talking about, nigga? This the same punk that paper pussy. $50 Alright. Stop hitting me, Jamie.
Her voice totally changed. That lady's life is in danger because she called out and exposed her partner that's on the DL in front of everybody. He didn't have a problem telling her the truth in the car, because 9 times out of 10, when these women question these men, they be like, yeah, whatever, what you gonna do about it? Now they got to go around holding on to that secret, acting like they don't know. But she was actually recording, and now the whole world knows her life is in danger. And in order to resolve a situation like that, as women, just be honest. You just want a good man that's going to take care of you and be a great father, period. Because y'all sleep with DL men all the time. And once he done has you and put that ankle down and lay that goddamn ankle on you still going to go back to him regardless if he's DL or not. But it's important to have these conversations from the beginning. Just like transgenders, since transgenderism is not a mental health illness anymore and is classified as a sexual health situation, you're supposed to disclose you being a transgender from the commencement of a relationship or some type of engagement, or else you playing with people or you risking and sacrificing your life. Wonder why transgender, specifically black transgender, account for the most unalignments in the LGBTQ plus community. Literally, transgenders, black men in wigs with some titties on their shoulders actually accumulate a lot of the stats for why the entire LGBTQ plus community needs protection. And we all know the most protected person is a white gay man or a white gay Jewish man,
Oh, Lord.
grifting off the backs of black men. So on a biological level, this is just another example of black men and crime against black men that's being swept under the rug or swept into an entire community. That was a big issue about this, to where I remember this transgender by the name of Nali. She wanted to separate the T from the LGBT community, because separate the T, the LGBT community is like, that's the, like, who's hating on them? They run the world, run Hollywood, you know. It's the transgender. So I understand why people like TS Madison would come online and advocate for those people. But my whole point is it really advocating, or is it some type of messiah complex, a mental disorder, narcissism, or something to the extent to where you feel so broken on the inside, the only way for you to get attention is to be a nigga with some titties on your shoulder and live your life like this. You ever notice, like, old black men, they get the gray hairs and beard growing and they don't want all that shit, then they start taking hormones and stuff? Is it really about a look, a feeling, an expression? What is it really? It's really you're broken on the inside and you don't like what you see. But then again, World Health Organization classified transgenderism as something that is involving sexual health. I get tired of heterosexual people sexualizing each other in public. Now, transgenders offer an alternative type of sexuality that is being projected into public. Just anybody discussing that, anybody putting that in front of a child and so forth, could actually be perpetuating some type of sexual identity onto younger people, you know. And it's not just transgenders. I always said that grown women twerking in front of their daughters and sons, that should be like out of the question. And I think the internet agrees, because I remember Jaden and Blueface had a party and they was twerking in front of his son, and people was like, "What are you doing?" But I just seen a lot of grown women twerking in front of little girls and little daughters, and they looking at them and looking at all the attention that they getting from it. And I want to be like that, because this is the best way for me to get some attention, validation, you know. And we live in a time to where this is post-pandemic. This is post-pandemic. People are still messed up because they didn't go to high school. They didn't have those, you know, last final years of senior, junior year. They didn't have any of that. So they didn't have regular coping mechanisms and social skills. So people be online looking at a lot of stuff and trying to figure out who they are. I remember I even looked at, like, you are the star seeds and God sent you to save the planet type of shit. And I was like, oh yeah, it gave me a sense of hope. So when I went out in the community, you know, nobody could tell me anything. I had it figured out. And we are all looking for answers to make ourselves feel better and to fit into this world. And it's to the point to where transgenderism has always become a thing, but it's more relevant now, to the point to where the president of the United States had to basically remind women of their basic rights and biology, you know? So anyways, what's up with y'all? Let me know what you guys think. Also, the link is posted if anybody wanted to hit the stage. But let me get into this piece of content. Update: Judge denies DL Whisperer's request for bond in TS Madison stalking case. Now, this happened 5 days ago. I seen it and I was like, okay, the bail is denied. What's going on? And this is being promoted by Gay Magazine. And TS Madison took this storyline, because that's exactly what it is, a storyline to victimize yourself and act like somebody is harming you and you're transgender. We get it, TS Madison. So she took this story to Gay Magazine, and unfortunately, Gay Magazine doesn't really know who TS Madison is and how she give it up and how she's attacked he's attacked black women like Tasha K, Kaya, and so forth. This is just all a grift, all like an attention heist, if you ask me, honestly.
Madison's hairstylist, and TS Madison has been going through a very serious court case with Naquan Palmer, aka the DL Whisperer. And today we had a bond hearing, and we all attended the bond hearing. We were there for a very long time. And I want to say that it feels so good to know that the legal system is still yet doing what it's supposed to do for the dolls, for trans people. The DL Whisperer did and said some very foul things about TS Madison. And his own words really is what caused him to be in the situation that he is currently in. We watched it unfold today in court. So, some of y'all may know, some of y'all may not. I am TS Madison's hairstylist, and TS Madison has been going through a very serious court case with Naquan Palmer, aka the DL Whisperer. And today we had a bond hearing, and we all attended the bond hearing. We were there for a very long time.
So pretty much Gay Magazine, TS Madison on the red carpet, TS Madison's hairstylist is coming up speaking. So this is definitely a unilateral narrative or someone that has decided to take TS Madison's side, but fair is fair. Like, you know, is it because this is a black man and he's in jail, so it's really easy to just incriminate him? I mean, TS Madison is also a black man running from those stats and statistics about what happens to black men or the future and the history of black men, and you don't want to be a black man, so you up there wanting to be acknowledged as a woman to take on this feminine trait and be treated as such, like a princess or whatever. We seen when TS Madison and Kaya went to court how that judge wasn't moving for that, and now this judge is doing it because he's got this restraining order, and now it's criminal court, and now the stylist is here, and people are talking, and this is this big deal, and oh my gosh, I'm trans, and whatever happened to this man, I'm just gonna project all of my pain and all of my trauma and everything that I went through onto him. Like, this is not like a situation to where this gay boy is out here unalive and trans or shooting up the school or actually going to do any of these things. You know, T.S. Madison know, and everybody else on the internet know that he ain't did nothing different than T.S. Madison. Both of them are wrong. But my whole point is, if we're going to prosecute someone and cheer on a prosecution in a court of law, like, why do that when we in the public, we know what the truth is, and we know the history of how online works. We know that it's not entertaining unless you're saying some of the most low vibrational, hurtful things. Like T.S. Madison telling Tasha K that her child got a football head and he gonna kick, punt it, and all of this other stuff. It's content. That's what people do. How many times people done pulled up to people's house off a Clubhouse, off of YouTube, and all this other stuff. Like, and you're using that to say, "Oh, I need protection. Let me run up in here." Them crackers only see two niggas fighting against each other.
He made it clear that no bond amount would ever stop him from getting T.S. Madison. No court system, and that was played for the judge, and the judge denied his bond. So now he has to stay in Gilmore County jail until his actual court date, and there's no recollection, there's no knowledge on when that court date will be at this time. But I just want to say to the other trans women on the internet, the other trans women in the world, that please stop trying to take things into our own hands. I understand that we sometimes feel as if our back is against the wall. I understand that sometimes we feel as if we can't make it, we can't get to the next level, or no one is going to listen to us. But I need you to know that you are still human. As much as they try to take away and invalidate our human experience, we are still humans, and we still got this.
See what I'm saying? This is all a trauma bond. This is all everything that happened to trans women historically. Let me master the data and the statistics and figure out how to make this a public issue so that TS Madison is the face of this, and this is a part of the brand. It's a part of the brand. Oh, we can scapegoat DL Whisperer because he's a black man. Couldn't do it to Kaya, a black woman. Couldn't do it to the black women that got their restraining orders and shit granted against you. But he's a black man. Let's just throw him to the wolves. And while we at it, while I'm on the red carpet of Gay Magazine, let me go ahead and say, oh, somebody really traumatized me, and he's been supported by a big superstar. Talking about Nicki Minaj without naming Nicki Minaj and talking about I'm going to tell my story later. Trying to do bird calls to Nicki to coerce Nicki to build a relationship or allow access to be granted again, or else you're going to come up with this elaborate narrative and storyline and conflate the data and statistics about trans being unalive and how these men are supported by women like Nicki Minaj to further grift yourself into like a network of celebrities and influence that you really don't belong in. Honestly, you're like where's the talent is what I want to know with TS Madison. I don't see it. From you getting this mainstream attention off the back of Kaya, from you stealing the clips and talking about his work for hire from Oliver and getting mechanical residuals from Beyonce. It's like everything about you is a grift and is a cosplay and a piggyback off of somebody else. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm talking like this is because I gave T.S. Madison the benefit of the doubt. Like, you and Kaya had a whole issue. Like, you're so narcissistic to the point to where you really just can't sit on the fact that without Kaya, you would not have catapulted the way that you did without stealing her creativity. And then when she's out there doing shows with the gay community and entertaining, you want to shut all of that down and call out the sponsors and events of gay pride because she did. No, that's a you problem. Everything is a you problem. And you too, whoever you are, it's a you problem. Okay. And I'm here to remind people that accountability is something that needs to be taken. Trans women will not be in so much danger if they acknowledge that the World Health Organization classified transgenderism as a sexual health or sexual orientation, and it is your job and your responsibility to disclose to your partner who you are instead of trying to catfish and fool somebody into a situation. Get these niggas high for crystal meth and all this shit, and next thing you know, they sucked out and don't know who you are and what you were, and then you unalive.
The hardest thing for me today was watching her when he got that verdict that he was going to get no bond, watching Miss Mary bust out into tears and watching Madison bust out into tears. It's just, you know, when you see people that are so strong.
And watching Madison busting out into tears in the courthouse for what? To grip them people's sympathy. You want to be known and seen so bad. The fuck? Oh yeah, you don't think I know that district attorney is a gay dude? Mm-hmm.
To you, and you see people who never really show emotion like that, and to see that, it was so like humbling to me, because that lets me know. But I want to say thank y'all so much for the support. T.S. Madison is in good spirits.
If the Wiley Show bleached his skin about 3 shades, you know, and put some hair on, this person looked like the Wiley Show. Okay, like, stop capping and stop trying to make this a community issue. T.S. Madison is a despicable, diabolical individual who get in the pain, who get in the mud with everybody else and running up in court trying to play it like a Karen when you was playing a nigga game too. When you was playing a nigga game too online. See, I'm smart enough to play the nigga game and then know how to beat you even playing the nigga game in the court of law. Unless, of course, you got a janky ass, low vibrational, ignorant ass judge who don't understand that I even roped her ass off for an appeal. You know, so that's that. Like, again, I think T.S. Madison needs to speak for himself instead of always coming out here trying to speak on behalf of the trans community and the community. That is just the grift. That is just the grift. And that is just the public appeal of it all that I think is getting old. Like, you're a narcissist. Okay? Put yourself in a position, in a situation where the gay magazines start asking you about what your online antics have been, or ask you simple questions like, well, what did you do to him? They say you doxed him. Oh, you didn't? Get somewhere where people can ask you real questions. You're not bigger than and above the motherfucking program. Just because you don't want it to happen on your platform or people don't want to ask it. Like, no. No. You can't project fame onto somebody who actually have motherfucking talent.
Oh, Lord.
And I'm not buying it. I'm not. Okay? This internet got y'all fucked up. It really does. The Kim Kardashian, the people that became famous with no talent, it really did a number on niggas on the internet. It really did. You always gonna get the roles, TS Madison, that's right for you, like in Beauty and the Black. A transgender and they're pumping people's asses up. That's what you're gonna be identified as and seen as publicly on bigger platforms. A transgender, and that's it. You're not a woman. You would never be made to feel like a woman. And you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay that niggas in the back alley come through, and you gotta be okay with that. Okay, you was slanging it and selling BC way before, you fully transitioned. Was this just a strategic move? Because you didn't want to look like an old man in the face. So now let me take hormones and put on makeup and a wig and shit like that, because now I feel younger. But when you take all that shit off, you still know you're old ass man, period. Let's be clear about that. You're a nigga with some titties on your shoulders, and that's okay. That's no discrimination at all, because people have the right to be who they are. When I say a transgender, I respect you. You want to be called girl, I'm going to respect you. And that's where you need to meet society halfway. Meet society halfway to where when you see people that acknowledge you as such, that's what it is. E.J. Johnson can sit down on Carlos King and talk all this stuff about all these invisible men that he would never meet just because he lonely. Even Doja Cat, big old superstar, came out and said she lonely. You're lonely. It's your soul that need the motherfucking surgery. Okay? And I firmly believe, like, when you start messing with your gender assignment and shit since the World Health Organization has classified transgenderism as a sexual orientation, sexual health, okay, it's hypersexual. Literally, you are hypersexual to the point to where you're changing, and your bedroom activities and fantasies is now your permanent fixation. That's hypersexuality. A transgender is the most sexually fueled. I mean, they're taking hormones to replace testosterone. It makes you more attuntive and more soft and feminine, and like a transgender ain't nothing but a gay man that just OD'd on whatever. OD'd on the fluid energy, OD'd on the attention from being so feminine. And now you acting so feminine and acting like a gay boy. Now you want to be the woman and replace them and feel like them. I get it. But to me personally, and from what I can see, I just feel like transgenderism is too much focus on sexuality. And that's according to the World Health Organization. So why project? If we don't want straight people, gay people, no people walking around projecting their sexuality onto us, then why does society have to absolutely acknowledge you and let you into the woman's bathroom? Why project that onto kids? I remember reading an article. It was like it was somebody that was 17, 18. It was the dailymail.uk. This boy transitioned when he was 15, and by the time he was 17, he unalived himself. There's transgender kids that are unaliving their parents. We just seen it go viral. What was it, like a week ago? This transgender unalive his young mom and his young mom's boyfriend simply because they misgendered him. How much you as an individual be a little bit nicer and sit there and explain to people how you feel and what you want to be called, okay? If you want to be called my little princess and whatever nickname that you got going on, and all us got fucking childhood nicknames. If you want us to call you that, then that's just what it is. But don't get mad if you piss somebody off and somebody go at your fucking urethra tube or something. It's just all in the name. And I'm gonna tell TS Madison and trans people this. Don't nobody care but you. Honestly. But you. But you. You care about what your mama think, and your mama is transphobic. It ain't nothing to cut a bitch, cut them off. Go live your happy life, be better off ever, wherever, and build your own family, your own community. That's what that TV show Pose is about. T.S. Madison would have been great on that TV show. Yes, there's room for you. There is. Pose is one of the highest watched. I watched it. That shit was funny to me. And then I went to Shades of Pride, and it was my first ball. I thought I was in an episode of Pose. I ain't never seen no shit like that. This shit is fun. The gay community is fucking fun. T.S. Madison can be fun if you live to love yourself and be yourself. You can't make jokes about having the biggest BBE and then get mad when somebody call you a man. Be yourself. Love yourself. And don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. Then, but again, I believe T.S. Madison has that confidence already, but his business and his money, his stats, his statistics, his alt-right liberalism, is more RuPaul drag race shows, is more red carpets, is more opportunity, is more pandering to a narrative and putting yourself in a position to act like you're worthwhile or like, come on. It's just online. After you done stole other people's clouts, that's it. Ain't nobody pulling up for you. Ain't nobody buying no tickets. Headline, T.S. Madison. Everything about T.S. Madison is just based upon having a big platform online. That's it. No real talent. Nothing. It's not talented. Like, any woman can decide to become a man. And haven't you noticed that it's so much hate for women to where there's no protection and people barely even talk about a woman becoming a man, because that's a transgender too, right? That's still a woman. So that's the most disrespected person, a woman. So this is why it almost looks as if the trans men community don't exist. That's the people you need to advocate for. T.S. Madison. You can't come out here projecting heterosexuality when you're not a part of the heterosexual community. You came out here demanding that heterosexual people respect you and bow down to you. Respect is something earned and given. You can explain it, and if people want to respect it, that's just what it is. Tasha K said, you still a man. Yes, I'm a man, but this is how I feel, and I got a community of other people that feel the same way, and we're going to stick together, and that's it. Like, fuck you. Fuck everything that you got going on. All this getting low. That's because you taking it so personal. You're not going to change the mindset of society, even if people just sitting there smiling in your face because they too know the business side of it. Just stop it. Stop the fucking bullshit and the capping. Bless you for tackling a sensitive topic. Oh yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm definitely not transphobic. I think you should be whoever you are. T.S. Madison would never be a woman to me, but I would respect T.S. Madison as a transgender. T.S. Madison, like, you know, if I see T.S. Madison, we're like, what's up, girl? You know, because I'm stepping into your world and stepping into your illusion, and I understand that there's a billion different realities going on at one time, and if your reality is that, I'm acknowledging and respect it. But T.S. Madison is disrespectful. T.S. Madison feel like he can look at me and say, girl, I don't hang around them. Okay, not petition them.
Oh, Lord.
I don't hang around them. I'm a fucking man. And if you want me to respect you as a transgender, you don't need to call every man a girl, or you don't need to categorize and put me in no motherfucking box. That's what they like to do, put people in boxes and shit over there. And that alt-left liberalism and shit like that, right? So respect goes both ways. So if I seen T.S. Madison, I'm like, how you? Hi, lady. How you doing? Oh, I'm gonna step into your world. Even though I have my own ideology, you're a man, but you want to be acknowledged and you want to be respected as what you're cosplaying as. I'm gonna do that, but you ain't finna sit here. I'm not gonna. First of all, you ain't finna sit here and brainwash me and make me believe that when I leave from you, I gotta Respect you as that. No, I'm respecting you as who you want to be. That's what it is. And women do the same thing. Women have to be assertive about what they're doing. When y'all out there seeing these gay men and be like, oh, girl, child, just be like, you remind me of one of the girls that I was talking to, and that's it. Because when you leave, she calling you all kind of punks and stuff. Mm-hmm. She is. Whether you know it, even your best friend, whether you know it or not, they comfortable because it's like an extended girl or some shit like that. And they be the messiest people, the gay ones, bouncing back, telling all the tea and all this other stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of women that killed each other behind some gay stuff. Or some gay man just running their mouth, you know? So, and I'm just not one of them people that sit around women and let women call me a girl, let no transgender call me a girl, or none. Shit, even if I'm sitting down talking and we laughing and shit, and you thinking that, and you say, girl, no, I gotta put my nuts down now. Nah, it ain't gonna happen. I ain't even know I was, because I want to be respected and looked at like a human being, opposed to identifying me as something that's in these marginalized communities or category or whatever. That's not how I roll. I've never benefited off of that. Ask TS Madison, who benefits the most out of the LGBT community and who benefits the less? Transgenders. A black man trying to be a black woman is the least protected. And it's simply because it's like a fucking scrambled brain. The most protected a gay white man. He ain't putting on no dresses, and if he is, he doing it in the dark. Panty wears like Bruce Jenner and all, yeah. Like, your sexuality, you should not lead with it. You made a deliberate choice to do that. And now, me as somebody who has empathy for humanity, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to be like, okay, this person made an ultimate choice to start getting operations to affiliate himself with womanhood. So I'm going to respect that in your face. You know, I'm the type of person, I'm so nice and I'm respectful. You know how many transgenders think that I want to sleep? Oh, no, I don't do that. I just respect you enough to let you feel comfortable. And that's the thing. And it goes back to, a transgender being a hypersexual man that's now doing all of this stuff. You can't be nice to them because now they think you want to screw on them. How many times y'all seen TS Madison bring a chef or a new worker or a new something, and you see him sitting there grooming this man, making him feel uncomfortable. This man is being nice to you because he's chosen to respect you as a transgender who's paying him for a service. And now you want to offer some extra money on top of that so he can do some stuff to focus where you want him to focus, which is sexuality. Because you're the one who waking up every day trying to be a sex siren. And niggas see you and hear you 10 miles away. And people make their own choice if they want to deal with you or not. This is not me being transphobic. This is me speaking reasoning to people. If you're a woman and you see a transgender like TS Madison or Tasha K, then TS Madison wants to be identified as a woman. Then do that. Don't come online just dragging it. That's a man, and that's unless of course the beef goes so deep. And now Tasha K got to get her trolls and her gag and her roast on up out of there to get her lick back, and DL Whisper got to do the same thing. So again, this is all a fucking internet game. That's it. And respect go a long way. Learn to respect people. But with what's going on with the DL Whisper, them crackers over there in the courthouse, specifically over here where Frank Wood is the district attorney, over at the circuit court. This cracker right here come from a community and has to protect the community that is goddamn, what was it, 70% white, barely any black people and all that other stuff. And then he's gay if you look at him. He want to make gay magazine. He got the gay magazine reporters and stuff in there. He got to stick up for and advocate for the community. So he's obviously going to do what he needs to do. And T.S. Man hands coming in here. Well, let me stop saying that. That's a joke that Michelle ATLN says. And I think it's funny because if she called me T.S. Man hands, I'll make fun of that. Shit, you don't think I have a big ass hand on the t-shirt? Is T.S. Man hands or something? You already took a picture with a watermelon, busting it open and shit. You might well make some big ass man hand t-shirt.
Oh Lord.
So all the people that hate her, make a this how you get your clap back, okay, and take control of the joke, TS Madison. Don't sit up there. Oh, she called me a man hand. You do got man hands. No matter how much surgery you get, you can get all this. The hands still gonna be the same. It's gonna show the age and everything. Everybody know that. So why don't you get a picture of Gary Coleman mixed with her face, and then make a big ass hand, like a big ass head, Michelle ATL, and then mixed with Gary Coleman in a hand. Just walking and put that bitch on the shirt or something. That's a gag. Make money off of it, okay?
Oh no.
Make money. I mean, but then again, only thing T.S. Madison know how to do is grift, steal people ideas, grift public energy, and play the victim to get the victim card and get the money off of that. Girl, go ahead and create a Gary Coleman shirt with a big ass hand. T.S. man hands and whatever else they call you. Let a bitch call me something, motherfucker. We gonna take it, we gonna own it, and we gonna throw it back in their face. They gonna wish they never gave me that bone. Cause we gonna gag about it, okay? And see, that's the sign of somebody who is secure with themselves and don't give a damn what somebody say about them. Okay, it's like roasting. Nobody cares, T.S. Madison. Okay, you know all the transgenders and all these people that people encounter every day. Ain't nobody, oh, look at that transgender, get away. But fucking pitchfork like the KKK or some shit like that. Ain't nobody falling for that. This man right here is gay, this district attorney, and so he's controlled by his LGBTQ plus politics. He's not understanding, nor does he see the online internet game that's going on and that's being played. And the DL Whisper is locked up, so it's going to be virtually impossible for him to present his defense to the best of his ability, unless, of course, Michelle ATLN decides to go to court to advocate for him, which what she said to get her clicks and views. I guess it wasn't enough, huh? She get enough clicks and views, or maybe if this get big enough, she'll go and testify and talk about T.S. Madison character. But the thing is, T.S. Madison is not in trial.
Oh no!
And that's the part about it, where they start playing the Karens and shit like that. Mm-hmm. That's what they start doing. So this gentleman's in jail, and T.S. Madison is out here mastering the data, the statistics, and just doing any and everything to play the victim. And this victimhood is just, again, ain't nothing but an online game to boost his profile and affiliation with transgenderism. And again, this is a black boy. The DL Whisper looks like a black boy, like a 16-year-old little boy. You know, honestly, that's what he looked like. And that's what these white folks see in the system. And they see you, they still see you as a man up there crying and all. They know you faking it and shit. They know all of that. They know you're trying to make a statement, T.S. Madison. And even if you're crying, whatever you got going on deeply really ain't got nothing to do with the DL Whisper. So wonder why you even mad at Ms. Netta for keeping Charles and don't nobody want to come out here with you publicly.
Yes, and that same night for my Halloween party, Angela Stanton, the great Republican, was sending him money, which we were showing that to the judge too, that he was monetizing off of this. People were paying him to go do harm to me.
Is that right? Listen, you know, one thing about a lie don't care who tells it. Now, TS, let's tell the truth. Yeah, I sent that man money. I sent that man money because you doxed him, because you had people calling up to his job, because you had him fired. You care so much about young black men. Let's talk about how this black man was on the verge of homelessness. Let's talk about how you, as a black man in a wig, sit up on your platform and you constantly harass people like me, Nicki Minaj, Just Hilarious. You hate women, but when it comes to a man dealing with you, all of a sudden you want to run to the police. All of a sudden you scared. All of a sudden you need a protective order. No, you're just a man in a wig and you're a bully when it comes to women. And when a real man gets on your ass, you want to cry and point your fingers. Tell the truth. And look, Trump ain't going, baby. Don't try to get me caught up in none of your bullshit. Trump ain't going. And I ain't either.
You want another truth?
I do.
And boom, there you have it. Sounds just like Petitioner. Again, like, what's the common denominator between these hyper feminine, flamboyant gay men that feel like their position, their identity is threatened because somebody else why does it even have to be a gay issue? Like let's not even focus on the sexuality or how somebody identifies aspect of it. That's just pandering. Okay, and she didn't make it any better by saying a man on a wig and all that other stuff. But the simple fact that T.S. Madison acknowledged that and presented the judge some information about who was sending him money and named this particular person, that can be used as an exhibit in court. And this woman can be called as a witness for why she sent DL Whisper money, and also to respond and clarify what she meant as far as T.S. Madison attacking women and everything in front of the trier of fact. That way the jury that's watching be like, oh, this some bullshit. See, this is where reasonable doubt comes into play. Yeah, the DL Whisper broke the law, but now this woman said that she seen that you doxed him. Oh, he doing the same thing. Y'all doing the same thing to each other. So even though it's against the law, I mean, I'm not saying two people can go unalive each other, but hey, if two people unalive each other, why y'all running to the white folks? You can't even run to the white folks. Both of you niggas is dead. Two people that shot each other. Both of y'all gonna go sit in jail together and heal in jail together. No, it cancels itself out. So this is where the trier of fact comes into place, to where a reasonable minds have the right to infer, to say, look, I'm sitting here as a member of the jury, and I know this law says this, but there's questions that I'm being asked pertaining to this law, and we're going to debate about this. And I've heard his affirmative defense, like T.S. Madison saying, I'm going to send this to him. Everything that Tasha K say and do, I'm going to send it to the judge. And that's the game that you're playing. It shows how malicious you are, and it shows how other people's decision and other people exercising their First Amendment right is somehow affecting you and getting you up here crying. So are you really crying about the DL Whisper, or something bigger going on, and you're just trying to pinpoint it on this particular individual that has nothing to do with him, when you yourself have victimized so many people? So if he went to jury trial, like, that's what he should have done. But unfortunately, it seems like the DL Whisper waived his right to a speedy trial. This piece of content came out today. Tasha K got the exclusive, claims he lost 20 pounds since being in jail due to bad treatment and more. Now, I do want to say this about Tasha K. I do feel like Tasha K elevated his platform simply to have another mouthpiece in her war against T.S. Madison. And I don't know who started it first or whatever, but they both are going back and forth and both responding to each other. If you guys know who started it first between Tasha and T.S. Madison, please let me know below. I wouldn't be surprised if it was T.S. Madison, because a lot of these gay black men like Funky Dineva, they drag the black women to get ahead and to continue to build and step all on. We seen him do it to Kaya. We seen him do it most recently to Tamar Braxton. Yeah, she did it, but a man, a biological man, whether he's gay, straight, or not, biological men are somewhat programmed just to let these women go out there and act crazy. People find out who they are, and I'm not saying to let them get away with their behavior or nothing like that, but like, ain't nobody got time to be arguing with no bitches all day. See, this is why T.S. Madison don't mind arguing with women all day, because see, a real nigga like me, I'm not gonna do too much arguing with you before you gonna have to come out there and catch this motherfucking fade. Lord. And then when men like me step like that, they run to the courthouse while continuously dragging women and shit like that. I heard petitioner yelling and screaming, oh, they sent a gay boy after me, talking about Tasha K and Milagro. Bitch, I don't fuck with neither one of these people, and I do fuck with them at the same time. There's nothing personal. Neither one of them can influence me or anything. Just like when I was on Tasha K's station, what was it, X? Yeah, I was on her X, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm always be team you, so as long as it's against, petitioner. I'm like, okay, well, I've been rocking with you, and I ain't got shit to do with what you got going on with that person. You can't use me as a pawn. So given my own experience and my personal engagement with Tasha K and how she presented herself as someone who would, maybe conveniently use me in her little online game the same way she did Milagro, Michelle ATLian, that's your agenda. That's not the same thing with me. And sometimes, dueling agendas have to meet head to head. But with that said, Tasha K only see this as content when it comes to the DL Whisper. and it's content for her to generate a click and a view, or to generate an exclusive. This is what we have. So, you know, at the end of the day, with Tasha K using so many people to fight her battles against her oppositions, which includes Petitioner or Storm Monroe or TS Madison, it's like she only looking at the DL Whisper as a click and a view. Because if you pull up her YouTube analytics, you pull up her X, whatever, her name and DL Whisper is affiliated in. You know, this is a storyline. And that name, DL Whisper, while he's locked up, she is the go-to person for it. And all the women that support him are going to retroactively support her and come back to her. Even though, you know, she gave him a lot when they did that interview, because I didn't know who he was until then, nor did most people in my audience. So this is just reinforcing a proxy and taking full control over this DL Whisperer situation and this brand and stuff. And I just feel like anybody affiliating with Tasha K to play her internet games is not good for anybody at all. So I just say to the DL Whisperer, hopefully, well, you know, if he could hear this, because, you know, they do got cell phones and watch YouTube and shit in the jails, right? Hopefully you will learn not to step into this arena of online banter that's been going on and don't know what's going on, and let people use you like a casualty. I firmly believe if the DL Whisper would have done what he did and said the things that he said, TS Madison would have came out here and probably gave him the business. But given the fact that he has collaborated with this large platform that has a history of, you know, cyber stalking and harassing and bullying each other, the best way for him to get his lick back on Tasha K is to go at the DL Whisper. And that's why today TS Madison tweeted out that everything Tasha K say and do is going to be reported to the judge and used against the DL Whisper, because, again, this is just an online game.
Exclusively right now, the DL Whisper. Here we go.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well. We are definitely, worried about you, and we're definitely thinking about you. So we wanted to get an update as to what's going on in there and why are you not out?
It's been a bunch of funny stuff going on. Because yesterday we had a pretrial, and all of the stuff that they submitted as proof for me violating the protective order, it was all before the protective order. So essentially, they're just trying to find something to sit. Right now, my lawyer, which I think is a bad idea, he was basically trying to get me to sit here for a couple of months because I guess they don't have enough evidence, but they're also not setting a trial date. So they denied my bond. They didn't set a trial date or any other dates, and they just kind of telling me that I just got to sit here until they get ready to go to trial, which could be, he was like, it could be up to a year before I truly know. And, it's just a railroading thing. These people have went out and lied, because, of course, they brought Tasha's name up, but all of that was disproved. So it wasn't her fault. It basically everything that they had been saying was lies. It wasn't Tasha's fault. It's more like they're doctoring documents and making stuff up to make it look like I violated the protective order.
It's true that they used footage from Tasha's interview with you against you. Is that correct?
They tried to, but the judge ultimately was like, they had to admit that the interview happened before the TPO, so it wasn't able to be used, and there was no proof of anything. So it was just like, okay, Tasha is a blogger, so she can talk about anything going on. So they couldn't really hold it against me. So all of that got thrown out. It was just one screenshot that was from, they said February 15th is where I posted the house, and I posted the appraisal of the house from the county commissioner website. They were saying that was from February 15th. And that by me using a hashtag, that was direct contact, because in court, the judge didn't know the difference in a hashtag and a mention. So they asked the respondent, or they asked the defendant to explain, what does this mean? And they essentially tried to say, not even tried, they said that a hashtag is a mention. So it was just a lot of confusion. These judges don't understand social media, so they're just kind of asking stuff on the spot. And they're not asking me. I wasn't able to speak at all. They're just asking the people that are filing all of these orders against me. Because since I came to jail, I've gotten more temporary orders from people related to that other person. There's been more warrants taken out on me by people related to that person and that person. So it's just one of those things where they're just trying to do all of this to kind of keep me in here and to keep me in jail.
So what exactly are your charges?
One count of aggravated stalking because they said I violated the temporary order.
And so they denied your bond, and now you still have no trial date set? You're just in there with no date?
No date, just sitting. And then I tried to ask them, like, when, and they was like, we don't know. So they're just saying that they don't know, and then we had like some HIPAA issues where they're violating my medical stuff. It's a lot that's going on in here. Wouldn't let me get medical attention until my family called today. So basically that was becoming an issue. Just a whole lot, like not able to get money on my books. And it's just a lot that's going on because they let some people use their debit cards to put money on their own books, and they just they wouldn't let me. And I have a special diet, so I'm vegan, so I'm allergic to meat and dairy and some other stuff. So it's like they don't give me the food that I need. So I was trying to get commissary to survive because I done lost almost 20 pounds, and it's just a lot.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Dio.
And I was telling them, like, oh, it's unconstitutional. And then they were just like, oh, you need to stop bitching. Because I was like, they didn't give me no soap. They didn't give me, like, anything that they was giving other people. Like, when I got booked, they just made me come straight to the back. Like, there was no papers that I had to sign. Like, they didn't take an inventory of the stuff that I had up front. They didn't give me the proper stuff that I needed. It's like everything is just like whatever there. And then I was asking them, like, who can I report them to? And they was like, oh, you have to go to the legislators because we don't have oversight. And the judge, they only have one judge for this whole circuit, for like 3 or 4 circuits, and she owns the jail that I'm in.
She owns the jail. And so the rumor is that, if you can confirm, that she also has family members that work in the jail that she owns. Is that correct?
Correct. I got arrested by one. And I was just trying to retain her grandson as my lawyer because people in jail had been telling me, like, if you get her grandson, they live together, so he might can help you get out quicker.
And that lone screenshot is what got your bail denied. Is that correct?
Correct. They're just doing whatever, and they're just, like, not even giving me no dates. They're just like, oh, well, you'll just sit there. And it's like, for how long? Like, that shit is like, that's the hard part because for how long? It's like, they not, I don't even know how to explain it. I'm just trying not to get too emotional right now, but it's definitely a lot. It's a lot on my mental.
Ground it up in a powder. I put it in, you can put it in your water.
It's ridiculous. I see a lot of, I don't fully, first of all, with him sitting there for a year means that he essentially waived his right to a speedy trial is what he did. It seems like, okay, like when you got like a restraining order, temporary restraining order or something like that, you can't say these people's name. If you're showing court documents, that's public record and stuff, and it says whatever, that's completely different. That's First Amendment. Using a hashtag on social media, I mean, that's suspect because it took actual creative labor for you to like type that hashtag in it. Now, like, I got AI tools, and AI tools do certain things like automatically, right? But if you're like actually doing it, then that could be a violation of the restraining order. And then on top of that, it's, like I said, it seems like he waived his right to a speedy trial. And when he waived his right to a speedy trial, it pretty much seemed like he is just going to sit there and there's no court date coming up. And he mentioned something about the judge's nephew or grandson living with her, and maybe he could, that's not going to happen simply because you just put it on blast. You're literally talking about a scheme. You're saying that the judge owns the jail, got people work there. This is a big issue. This is a small town in Georgia that you have just put on a global scale to where people like me heard it. And I'm very, very familiar with judges and people just like totally like, saying certain things and, in violation of your basic rights and so forth, and just taking advantage of due process issues. He's talking about contacting the legislator. To me, it sounds like he's being bullied. For him to go in there and ain't wear nothing but like probably $150, and then going to like literally just like sit there and look like he wear like 20 pounds. Like I'm actually afraid for him because he's not tough. He can't survive in jail. He's not denied. He cannot survive in an LA County. He cannot survive in a predominantly white area where they're racist and they're taking his food, taking his hygiene, and the other inmates got it, and he don't know how to defend himself. I'm really scared for him in this situation, especially after that recording being released, because now how many people listening to that are transphobic? He has public officials and celebrities that know about the situation and are going to listen to that. Then they can further investigate what's going on over there. I feel like he's in danger, honestly. And this is a part where I feel like TS Madison just need to like stop. You doing too much. This man is in jail. He's suffering, physical, can't eat, can't sleep. Why are you sitting up there trying to cry like you feel bad for him? You're putting him through this simply because it's an online game, not because you really feel uneasy and unsafe. So I feel like he went too far and you're going too far. Like, why celebrate somebody trying to ruin somebody's life in this mannerism? Like, that's totally BS. It's total BS if you ask me. And the nephew is a lawyer and live with the judge or something. That's what they say. He's going through hell on earth. Yep. They said the judge owns the jail, has family members working in the jail. Arresting officer is a family member of the judge. They're using him as a scapegoat. There's an agenda behind all of this. It is. It's modern day slavery. Everybody want black men in jail. And then on top of that, a lot of what he's saying, in this particular county that he's in, if the judge owned the court in the county, how many of these cases actually go to trial? How many of these cases actually go to trial? They stuck him in jail and haven't given him another court date. So they're just going to come and get him, or they put him through hell so that he'll be happy to finally get released by taking whatever shitty deal that they throw at him. His biggest mistake was waiving his right to a speedy trial. And again, all of this stuff that TS Madison is saying is transphobic, unfortunately is not. As of January the 20th, 2025, defending women from gender ideology, extremists, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Again, like, he probably have to petition his case all the way up to the federal courts that has to recognize that at the time in which he committed this quote unquote hate crime or said certain statements, those things need to be separated and thrown out, because Donald Trump passed legislation clearly defining women and girls shall mean adult and juvenile human females respectfully. Men or boys or boys should mean adult and juvenile human males respectfully. And T.S. Madison was born a male. Respectfully, I get that, but also respectfully, we live in a society that we got all kind of people, all kind of realities, all kind of generations, all kind of new dictionaries and shit going on. Respect people. That's just what it is, honestly. And I'm gonna respect T.S. Madison as, wanting to be a woman, but I know he's not a woman. Anyways, let's go back to when T.S. Madison confronted Miss Netta about how he's able to keep Charles and if he identified with the LGBT community or not. From this moment, this is where Miss Netta actually took off on YouTube. From this particular interview.
Yo, honey, they told you to Miss Netta, honey, sit down, honey, you the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, because she would outcook you and give Charles some of that good meat, and he would come over there, honey. How does it make you feel when you see all these women assaulted Santana and say, oh, Charles is cute? How does it make you feel, honey, to see the girls after your man?
It actually made me feel pretty good, because, if I got somebody that somebody else wants, then I must be doing something right. I'm not jealous about the situation or another, none of that to the fact, because I know Charles ain't going nowhere, baby.
Ooh, now let me ask you this. Are you a part of the LGBTQIA community?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I just asked. I wanted to know. Okay.
Oh, okay. Ask that question one more time.
Miss Miller, are you a part of the LGBTQIA community?
I didn't quite understand you, but yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know, even, I'm trans, so my pronouns are she and her, so I respect everybody's pronouns. Obviously, I'm not going to call you anything but she and her, because you play the woman role over there frying bacon and sauteing for Charles, honey. But so what area would you fall under in the LGBTQIA community? Are you non-binary, trans?
I never categorized myself in none of that. I just always been myself, and this me, my everyday look, this my everyday look and stuff, and it's just something I just been doing ever since I was, growing up in life. And I don't think I'm a transsexual. I don't think I'm a whatever other name they got, I don't like calling them, but I don't think I'm none of those. I just more be like myself. My stage name is Miss Netta. A lot of people know my real name, thanks to the internet, which is fine, but it doesn't matter. A lot of people say I'm ashamed of my sexuality, which I am not, because people here in our city knows me and everything. So it wasn't about me hiding my sexuality because we are well known here in the city. But it was just more like that was my business. And when I wanted to put my business out, then that's when I do it. And I just wasn't ready yet.
So the girls are gagging to know when you say your sexuality. So this means, were you born male like me? Because I was born male.
Yes, I was born male.
Okay, sister, what the name?
Whoever that's watching this, y'all got y'all ear. I mean, I never put it out there, but like I said, we go live and we feel like that we comfortable and stuff in the live. We would come out and we would say, answer some of the questions. And so, it's out.
I like it.
You know what? I'm going to say this. I appreciate the way you just handled that because, you both of y'all blew up on social media and there's a lot of interest in y'all. And there's people that are theorizing, having their say. And for you to just answer the question straight on, take it on and give us an honest answer, it shows your confidence in yourself. And it shows like you're standing on your business and you're unapologetically you. So that is a major thing. So I appreciate both you and Charles for being here and for addressing it and not running from it, because there's a lot of young people that were in your shoes when you since you were 6 that are going to look at you and be like, you're about to have a show, you're blowing up, you're everywhere, you're getting brand deals, and y'all look happy. So much respect. Okay. So thank you for sharing that.
We're very happy. We're very happy. And we just don't think that we know that social media is not going to end this relationship. So all the people that's out there got their little 2 cents and saying this and saying that, it's not going to happen.
All right.
Well, that leads to my question, Claudia, real quick. When I was in the public eye married and it was just a spectacle, one of the things that I found most difficult were the trolls and the backlash and the negative stuff that people had to say all the time. Tell me, how do you all deal with this criticism, and does it strengthen your relationship, or do you find yourself wrestling with it sometimes?
Ignoring it. Ignoring it. In a way. Like, it bothers me. It makes me feel some type of way, but guess what? At the end of the day, I got to brush it off because I already know what I signed up for, and guess what? All this backlash we're taking, the only thing I can do is just sit there and just take a hit.
Right. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes like really they just say that, okay, all they responded and come in, on the posters and stuff like that. It's just a waste of time because they're gonna say what they want to say and feel what they want to feel anyway.
Right.
Regardless of what you say. So if there's nothing that you can put out there and say,
I know you do. You say just let them talk. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Let them talk.
Well, I admire that because me, 26 years in the game, I still be in the comments like, that's not true, and fight for my life.
I say that, but I don't say it in the comments. I say it to myself.
Got it. I'm gonna take a page from y'all, but I'm gonna work on that. It is so hard sometimes. Okay, moving on now. Charles, you recently posted a video explaining why women can't consider themselves to be modern women and housewives at the same time. Let's check out this clip.
Most modern women, they want to be modern, but at the same time be a housewife. You can't do that. You can't. You got to pick one. You can't sit here and say you want to be married, but then you sit here and say you're a modern woman. You can't be modern and married at the same time. You can't. You got to pick one.
All right, Charles, as a modern woman myself, give us some more insight on your perspective.
Man, like what you just saw with yourself, like I said before, most women these days, they want a 1950s man, but they're not built like the women in that same era. You can't do that. I reconcile for that. You can't sit here and say you want to be a wife, but at the same time, you sitting here doing all this extra stuff, working and not doing this and that for your man and whatnot, and trying to make it about yourself.
So basically, can I ask real quick, are the men nowadays still behaving like the 1950s men? Because I feel like the men ain't really going down the house. All right.
I ain't saying it's gonna hurt, but no, not most. And then that stems back from not having a father in the house. Most boys need men in the house for follow example. We don't got that.
You gotta tell them, Charles.
And like I said, they want to sit here and say they want this type of man, but guess what? They're not around like they used to. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the modern day feminism and all that. Guess what? Ain't no need. Like I said, if you're gonna sit here and say you want to be a wife, you're gonna have to train yourself like one. You got to be raised to be a wife. Most ain't raised to be a wife.
Charles.
Come on, Charles. Charles said he want him a submissive woman, honey, that's gonna cook, clean, and do everything.
Come on, Charles.
So she can pass that kid and he can write that check.
I mean, in order for most men to get that, they got to put in the work.
Right.
Like I can sit here and admit to say that I was a nobody. I was low value and all that crap. But ever since I started working the job that I'm at, then guess what? Everything changed.
Okay.
It's like, well, I've been at the job so long, I mean, it feels good. It's like, dang, most guys need to be trying to do stuff like this, but I can understand most of us are F-ups with fuck-ups. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes a while for us to, to get back on our feet and say we can do it all over again. Like when you get knocked down, we got to get back up. Sometimes it's hard for us because we ain't really had that, that inspiration or that encouragement or none of that. We had none of that growing up. Most men don't have that. Most men don't have masculine figures in their life. Even sit here and say they want to do this and that. That's why most men don't get respect like they used to. It's sad to say, most men ain't getting respect like they used to. The blue collar men, they're not well respected like they used to.
I agree.
Because when you sit here and hear women talking about they too good to date a man that's out here driving garbage trucks or doing this and that right there just raise eyebrows.
Right.
It's like, okay, you say that, but what can you do?
Let me jump in here, Charles. Speaking of respect, there's gonna be a lot more respect put on both of y'all's names because you now have a new television show that's being produced by Culture TV. Yeah. I know you can't tell us a whole lot, but what can you tell our soulmates in this exclusive interview with Miss Charles and Netta? Miss Netta and Charles, sorry, my bad. I'm just caught up in y'all's story right now. What can you tell us about the show coming up?
Well, it's a reality TV show. Called the Montgomerys. Is that right? I do. And it's
Charles be like,
don't be coming in.
He's not impressed.
Yeah. And it's gonna be a reality TV show, so it's gonna be about our real life. We're gonna start by for the first season. We're just gonna have little things that our life was going on and a part of our tour that I need to talk about as well too. And that's gonna be a part of the reality TV show. And then it's gonna progress more and more and more as the seasons go by. But we are about to do a 10-day tour starting next month with 10 cities. And like I said, we start with Chicago, Houston, Texas, and Dallas, Texas next weekend. Tickets are on sale. They can go on our social media page. They can find out how much the tickets are, how to purchase the ticket, and when to be there because we show gonna be ready.
Before
Congratulations.
This is like we've never been able to have an interview with you guys before, and I know people are living for this right now. Before we go, I want you to be able to clear up everything. There was something online about Charles having a family as a white woman, all that. Is that true? You want to address that? I'm trying to clear y'all name in this interview with you. So there's no more. Like, I'm a former journalist, so I be wanting the truth about the tea. So do you want to say anything to that so people can leave, stop talking or not? What do you want to say?
Well, I mean, it's simple. You got people that want to dig deep into your business to the point where they want to make it seem like I'm doing something when I'm not. Like from that video you seen me or whatever, white one. So that was over 7 years ago. That was back in 2016.
Got it. Ooh, okay.
And we actually ran into her in Walmart a couple.
But anyways, yeah, my point is this is an online game that's being played. And the biggest mistake that the DL Whisper made was listening to his attorney. I was not in the court. If I was at the court covering the case, I would be able to actually tell you exactly what went wrong, but I cannot do that. Again, anybody can get arrested for anything, innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. I know if I'm innocent, unless of course like I got some shit going on planned. If I'm innocent, I'm just gonna go ahead and don't waive my right to a speedy trial and go to a jury trial and prove my case at the jury trial. That's just what it is. And if it's somebody like TS Madison trying to game the system in this particular situation, it's going to be hard to say that about TS Madison because the DL Whisper pulled up to his house. Now, if he was just making posts online and mentioning and shit like that, I'm like, this is gaming the system. This is First Amendment right. You just mad and don't like what people are saying. That's completely different. You understand what I'm saying? But he pulled up to his house, and that's something that I'm not going to do. And that's something that I advise nobody to do because you can actually put yourself in harm's way. But at the end of the day, I feel like this case has been completely blown out of proportion. People are doing it for clicks, views. People are doing it to stop people from exercising their First Amendment right. And obviously to play the victim for whatever reason and whatever purposes to keep people tied up in the court system. Again, anybody can go to jail for anything. The court system and all that stuff is a double-edged sword. You can get granted a restraining order and put some malicious cases on people, and they present their case and they get found innocent. They can turn around and thank you, Rachel POV, for joining. I greatly appreciate you guys for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Okay, I greatly appreciate you. Netta is drag and gay. Joe is bi, period, point blank. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, TS Madison, everybody has always clocked TS Madison on being a transgender. And many people honestly did not know that Joe Netta was a man until, in fact, Joe Netta came out and said he wasn't a man. Not that he don't look like a man, but I know, and we all got some aunties that look like Joe Netta minus the bump juice, okay? But anyways, I greatly appreciate you guys for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think about me actually doing these streams that are just like putting things into context and putting it and giving people the information as such. Okay, says a girl, hope you didn't ask about vanilla on a recipe. What are you talking about? Anyways, I love you guys. I got to get going. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by, Sassy Girl. Thank you, everybody, for being over here. Thank you for checking me out. Thank you. And again, you know, just go with the wind. And hopefully the DL Whisper would have learned something from this. And most importantly, like, you know, nobody wants to be in court. Black people trying to take people to court, trying to take people out because they're jealous and really trying to project that jealousy onto the other person is something completely ridiculous. Anyways, much love. I got to get going. See you guys.